Lori and Debbie. I am so excited to have you guys on the My WHIM Life show today. I have known both of you for quite a while. Lori a little longer than Debbie, I think, but we've definitely run in the same circles. We all have the same goals about helping other entrepreneurs get further in their life through our own different channels. And so I would love for you guys to tell others a little bit about you.
Okay, like Wendy said, my name is Lori Reinke. I have been, I was born in Idaho. I've been in Boise for a little over 20 years. I am married to my husband, Jason. We've been married 14 years this summer. I have two daughters, Alexa and Brinley. They're 10 and 7. And I'm a financial advisor at Mass Mutual here with Debbie.
Nice.
And I am Debbie ddale. I am married to my husband, Mike. We've been married 31 years last May, together 35. Some days it seems longer. No children, but we do have two very spoiled pups, Raleigh and Jackson. And Lori and I, we work here at Mass Mutual together, helping women with their finances.
Fantastic. Well, I have had the opportunity to sit down and chat with both of you about what that looks like and digging into more of the details, as well as been a part of, this joint effort that you guys are working with through Mass Mutual to really focus on women and educating them on finances so that no one feels like they are completely left in the dark should something catastrophic happen in their lives. And I just absolutely dig that and what you guys are working on. So I appreciate that so much. What made the two of you get into financial advising?
Oh boy, I actually kind of fell into it a little bit backward. Years ago when I moved to Idaho in 1992, I just went to school to learn some secretarial type work and landed a job at an insurance company that no longer exists, John Alden, downtown Boise. And then just kind of moved from admin status over to marketing. And did that for quite a while, and then decided, you know what, I think I'm pretty good at working with individual people, and I decided to go into personal production and join Mass Mutual 3 years ago, and absolutely love what I do.
That's awesome. How about you, Lori?
So I kind of fell in it as well, but my husband's father was in the industry for close to 30 years. And I saw the impact that he had with his clients. He became like family to them. He was always invited to like graduations and weddings, and families really cared about him and they really appreciated the work that he did. And I was at a point in my career where I was in accounting and I love crunching numbers, but I didn't have that personal connection with people. And I really, really wanted that. I wanted to be able to make a difference for them. So I started exploring financial services with his help and came over to Mass Mutual about a year ago, but I've been in the business about 7 years. And I have just loved it ever since. And again, my favorite part of what we do is making those connections, building the relationships, and feeling like we're part of the family.
Yes.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, what was your favorite part? So thanks for throwing that in there. If you when you're looking at all of because financial advising is a huge deal. There's so many different components to it.
Yes.
What do you guys feel like is your favorite piece of that puzzle that you like working with?
Well, for me, it's the people. The people that not only that we work with as clients, but also we have a fantastic team here, and that we get to work with some of the best advisors in the Valley, and we all play off each other's strengths. But by and far, for me, it's just helping people, making sure that they have, that they can live comfortably and not worry about running out of money in retirement.
Perfect. And I know that's pretty similar to you. So ladies, tell me a little bit about some of the habits that you guys get into on a regular basis that really drive your success? Because we know entrepreneurs, there's no one waking us up in the morning, there's no one making us show up for work, there's none of that going on. So how do you make sure that you're staying on track?
For me, it's, Monday through Friday, trying to keep a schedule that is very routine and almost the same every day. So I get up, I shower, I get my kiddos around for school, and then I like to go into the office. I feel like I'm way more productive when I go into the office. But another thing that I like to do is to write down all my tasks before I go to bed at night for the next day. So like a brain dump, because I think a lot of business owners, you can keep yourself up all night trying to remember everything you need to do the next day. And so I like to write it all down and know like what my plan of action is for the next day. That really keeps me focused and on track to accomplish the goals I have for that week or that month. So I would say trying to be very routine in my daily activities.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I also, in my office here, I do work part-time from home since COVID. And I have to say, there's, some things I enjoy about that, like my little coworker that snores on the futon, which is my dog, not my husband. But just keeping a routine, and here it's like I've got things written down on my whiteboard that I look at every single day so that I know what my goals are and keeping those top of mind so that I make sure that I hit them.
Yeah. So I know you guys are doing this women's program. What's it called? Is it the Women's Financial Literacy Group? Or I can't remember what your program is called.
Yeah, it's the Women's Financial Center at Mass Mutual, Idaho. And we're in the process of relaunching it. We got to start this year, and then COVID, and like it did with everything, shut that whole thing down. And we're actually revamping it. I'm really excited with the direction we're going. And do you want to say a little bit about it, Lori?
Yeah. Gosh, there's so much to say, but we have some really strong female advisors in our agency, which makes the dynamic and the excitement even bigger than what we had before. So when we get everything going and we can spread the word in the community, it's going to be pretty awesome. We just want women to get excited. We want them to feel safe. We want it to feel like there is, a resource just for women to come to and talk about finances, that you don't have to be embarrassed, that your neighbor probably has the same questions that you do, and that's okay.
Yeah, and I think so many women out there, myself included, when I went to industry events, especially early on in my career, and I'm in a room full of men with suits, and it's intimidating, and I wouldn't raise my hand if I had a question. And we want to make sure that it's a safe place for women to come and learn about their finances, regardless of where they are in their lives, whether it's just a new family starting, or they're getting close to retirement, or they're starting over because of divorce or widowhood. And it's, like I say, I'm really excited with what we're working on right now, and can't wait to launch it.
Right. Do you guys have any other daily practices outside of just writing things down the day before that you're like, this is something that I have to have in my day-to-day that keeps things moving on target?
For me, I think it's just I journal, so I like to just write things down. I do it in the evening and just just kind of go over how my day was, and how it made me feel, and so that I can go back and look and see, what works, what doesn't.
Sure. Yeah, I think there's huge opportunity in the reflective mode, not necessarily always looking ahead, because I think that especially as women, we don't take nearly enough time to stop and celebrate the little wins. We just see a lot of that stuff as our own expectations.
Right.
Like, this has to be done. This is an expectation, when really we're freaking rocking it sometimes. And we need to take a minute and celebrate that,
Yes.
Yeah. Getting a new client an opportunity to save in a different way, or look at their financials in a different way, I'm sure is super, super rewarding.
It is.
It really is. There's nothing that really feels better. So getting that validation from the client that they're learning something and we're helping them, that's the best.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. So whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, do you have some things that you feel are absolutely non-negotiable in your life that has been credited to your success?
Gosh, for me, that's a really hard question because as a business owner, I'm changing my mind a lot.
Yeah.
And I have a direction that I'm going, but I kind of changed the path on how I'm getting there. But at the end of the day, having accountability within our team, like there's some key players on our team that I need to have check-ins with them just to see how they're doing. I want them to know how I'm doing so they can check back. And not that we have to report to each other, but having that team feeling and knowing somebody's there cheering for you or knowing what you're going through on the hard days, that helps me. So if I don't hear from my teammates in a week, that's a lonely and probably not a good week for me.
Yeah.
So that regular check-in with them gives me energy, and we're a fun group of advisors.
Yes, we are. We really are.
So it's fun.
Yeah, and I would agree the accountability there. And for me personally, that's non-negotiable is that I need to make sure that I am taking time with my husband and not because it's very easy, especially when you have the home office in addition to the office here, to just go back, into work mode when I get home. And that's not fair to him. So we make sure that we have dinner together pretty much every night, sit down at the table, and then travel is very important too. You gotta get away from Boise every now and again to really enjoy and unplug. So that's something that I'm not willing to give up.
Yeah, I absolutely am totally on board with that. Whether that's just a drive into the mountains where no one can get a hold of you for a couple of days or whatever. Like you've gotta keep getting away because it just becomes so overwhelming. And then that's when burnout happens. And if you're burnt out, then you can't serve anyone.
Right. Yeah, and I've learned, over the years because I've had my own business. This is a new business for me, but I've been a business owner for 25 years, and I've had the burnouts where I just and the meltdowns and the the sobbing uncontrollably. I'm fine.
I'm fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine. But I've learned that I have to make myself and my husband a priority at times. So.
For sure. And I think we're all looking for what the world would call as balance.
Yeah.
I don't know that an entrepreneur ever finds that in the traditional sense, but you have to have your own sense of balance. Whatever that means to you as an entrepreneur is super, super, super important, or else you can't serve anyone in your best way, for sure.
Right.
For sure. If you guys were going to give one piece of advice to other small business owners or entrepreneurs out there that you've learned, what would that be?
That's such a hard question.
It is.
I think it kind of goes back to what Debbie was just saying, where you do, in order to serve your clients or to do anything well, you really have to put yourself first and take care of you. So, having a strong mindset, some downtime, whether that's, journaling or having a journal of gratification, driving to the mountains, whatever it is for you, I think you have to make sure that you have just a little bit of time to reflect, not have to serve anyone, clients or family members, that you can just be still and relax just a tiny bit or shut your mind off for a little bit.
Yeah, and mine would also, in addition to that, would be, stick with it and don't be too hard on yourself. You are going to fail. I mean, that's just part of it.
Yeah.
But make sure that you don't, let the failures teach you, not stop you, would be probably my biggest. Because it's so easy to just want to quit, especially early. It's much harder to keep going. So that would be my advice.
Yeah, one of my recent Wendy's Wisdom's notes specifically says when you're going to get tired, learn to rest, not quit.
Yes.
Super, super, super important.
Yes.
Because if you quit, you have to start over. And no one wants to start over because the hard part's all at the beginning.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Totally. All right. So what is the best way for everyone to reach out to you to find out more about the Women's Financial Center or your services individually?
You can reach us by phone. What is the agency phone number? I don't even know. My personal line is 208-364-0530 or ddale@financialguide.com.
Perfect.
And I would say for me, a text or phone call is probably best, which my number is 208-850-5829, or my email is lreinke, which is REINKE @financialguide.com. I'm probably quicker to respond to messages from people.
Yes.
Perfect. And we'll definitely include all of that information in the show notes so people can find you. Okay. And my last question, always my favorite, because it's so interesting the way people view this question. How do you give back?
Ooh, that is a good question.
I would say for me, so I have 2 young daughters. And one thing that I have a strong passion in is youth sports, specifically basketball. So I volunteer a lot of hours coaching young females. And not only do I want them to be better basketball players, but I want them to be better humans. And I feel like there's such a huge correlation in being a business owner and young female athletes. There are lots of things you have to go through. You're not always the best one. You're not always going to win. There are failures, but you have to pick yourself back up and move forward. And a lot of that is coaching that strong mindset.
Yeah.
Because if we can get young females to have that strong mindset, I believe they can accomplish anything they want in this world. So that's one of my passions, and I spend a lot of time doing that.
Yes, you do. And for me, I give back to my industry, actually. I've served on the state board of the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors, NAIFA for short, for many, many years. I'm a past state president. I'm the current national committee person, because I think it's really good to support, an association that supports us. It's an association that's more for Main Street, for our clients. It doesn't support the insurance companies. We want to make sure that we have the protections out there. So I give a lot of time there. I also, I have with the kids, I was a coach for Girls on the Run for about 10 seasons, and I'll probably go back now that I'm, back to where I can make the time to do that, because nothing better than seeing a 8-year-old or 9-year-old crossing the finish of their first 5K, and the sense of accomplishment that they just did that. It's just a really rewarding way to spend my time.
I love it. I love every minute of it. I can't even tell you how much I've enjoyed our little bit of time together. We'll make sure and get this shared to all of my people, and hopefully you will share it with all of yours.
Yes.
Yes, thank you so much for having us.
We appreciate it.
You are very welcome. Mwah. Thank you so much for tuning in to the My WHIM Life show today. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a moment of the goodness.